He was voted the best James Bond in the history of the franchise. Scotland's greatest living national treasure, the sexiest man in the world. The superlative degrees of adjectives were not enough to contain all the enthusiasm of the public. Sean Connery was twice recognized by People magazine as the most desirable man in the world. The first time it happened when his age approached the 60-year mark. Women sought his attention, and the actor gained fame as a womanizer and heartbreaker. Even before his resounding success in cinema, the stylish, imposing and charismatic Shawn drove crazy such actresses as Brigitte Bardot and Ursula Andress, singer Lana Wood. Sean Connery never hid the fact that he had many women, but he was never proud of his conquests. He actually fell in love with his girlfriends and colleagues on the set, but married for the first time only at the age of 30 to Australian actress Diane Silento. She was almost his age. The difference in their age was 3 years. The wedding they had to play secretly, so as not to ruin the reputation of James Bond, a lover of women. However, and the family life itself was far from what he imagined. The actor was forced in public to maintain the style and image of his screen hero and his wife, who carefully watched all his interviews, often offended, crying and arranging spouse hysterics. January 11, 1963, the couple had a son, Jason, who later became a star of thrillers and action movies. This boy, the only heir to the outstanding actor. After marriage, a gorgeous blonde with perfect forms of Diane fully devoted himself to the family. Days away spent with his son and, as she could, tried to please the sophisticated spouse. Unfortunately, her efforts were not successful. They lived together for 11 years. When Jason was only 7 years old, in the life of his father appeared another, no less beautiful woman. For her sake, Connery left the first wife. It was she who became his only true love. For the first time, they saw each other at a golf tournament when Sean Connery won the men's competition and Micheline Roquebrune women's. According to Micheline, she initially saw Shawn from the back and paid attention to his physique. That same night, she dreamed about him. And the next they were introduced to each other. They were both married, and they lived not just in different countries, but on different continents. The French artist lived in North Africa, in Morocco. The actor in America, however, was constantly on the move. Filming, creative meetings, and interviews were an integral part of his life. Only 2 years after meeting Sean, Connery decided to invite his beloved on a date. It was to take place in Marbella in Spain. Micheline rushed Shawn did not appreciate, and even took offense. Why did he think that she would drop everything and rush to him? But soon from him came a new letter in which the actor confessed his feelings. She had no more arguments against this meeting. In the early days, it was difficult for us to meet. Micheline was living in North Africa with her children. But we found ways to meet. I admired Micheline. She is an artist who creates work using simplified forms, unexpected shots and changes of scale. She has varied interests. She also works as a play director. For dates with Micheline, who was also single at the time, he bought a large villa in the Bahamas, where they spent time together. In 1975, they became husband and wife and did not separate for 45 years. This villa later became a haven for the actor, who ended his career in the movie industry, where he lived with Micheline, enjoying the quiet life and the surrounding nature. They were considered one of the strongest couples in Hollywood. Children in this marriage did not appear, but even to his only son Jason, he decided not to leave his multi-million-dollar inheritance. His second wife, in his opinion, a unique woman, for all the time of their life together, Micheline, according to the actor, never asked him where he was going and where he was coming back from. The main thing in their happy family life was trust, and on this held their happy and strong marriage. True, once Micheline had to go through a lot of turbulent minutes when he starred in the film Trap. Connery's wife was insanely jealous of him to his partner in the movie Catherine Zeta-Jones. But everything went around, and none of the participants in this story did not suffer. Everyone wants him. I know that and I understand these women very well, explained Roquebrune. Shawn considered his Micheline the best woman in the world, confessed his love, asked her out on dates, and never, ever let her hand out of his. They were from different cultures and even spoke different languages at first. She didn't know English and he didn't know French, but nothing could stop them from speaking the common language of their feelings. I realized it was fate. Micheline is a talented artist, and I'm always telling her she should sell her paintings. But she doesn't care. She only puts on exhibitions sometimes because she's as stubborn as a donkey and does things her own way. Sometimes it annoys me, but I have to admit that's what I like about her. She's overflowing with life, laughter, and where I see problems, she finds solutions. Shared a Hollywood actor. In recent years, the life of Shawn Connery flowed measured and calm. Together with his wife, he played golf, spent time in cozy restaurants, welcomed guests at his villa. They did not hide that they intend not to be separated until the last breath. What happened?